Hello my fellow golf ball addicts, welcome to another review. Today we are continuing our Callaway golf ball line. We've done the super soft, we've done the max, we've done the super fast, and I know technically there is an ERC soft, but I'm actually going to go ahead and skip ahead and we'll go backwards later, but I want to get to the Callaway Chrome Soft. This is just their regular tour. They have the Chrome Soft, and of course they have the Chrome Soft X, the X being for faster swingers. And one thing I noticed that was interesting right off the bat is that this one is a three-piece urethane ball, of course, like you would expect from any tour line. But what's really nice is its compression is in the 70s, actually. 70s, some will say low 80s, but for the most part, it looks like it's in the 70s, and honestly, that would be really good for my swing speed. Most of the time with tour golf balls, whether it be the Pro V1 or even sometimes the TP5, I just end up compressing them, not really as well as one probably should, just because my swing speed's only about 92, 93 mile an hour. And what ends up happening is that I just don't get the full effect of the golf ball, and when you have tour line golf balls that are $49.99, I judge them really, really hard, because one of my things I center my channel around is value. Why would I play with a golf ball that I get 3 yards less with and costs double the price? So value plays a really important part on my channel. And so most of the time when I've tested tour golf balls, most of the time they're in the 90s as far as compression, sometimes high 80s, and I just don't compress them that well. Prime example even was like the Wilson Triad. I just didn't compress it that well, and unfortunately I didn't get great results with it, even though I'm positive it's a good golf ball, just not for mid-swingers. So getting into the Chrome Soft then. So this golf ball is, their tour line in the 70s compression range. And one thing I already like about it already with the design is, yes, you have Callaway's fantastic logo, which always looks good. And then, you have the, now what's different here compared to the other golf balls I've tested so far, the Super Soft, the Max, they didn't really do a alignment tool on the side, that thick one. This one's a lot smaller, as you can see there. You probably can't even see it. But it's not really the end of the world, because they do make a triple track model. The triple track model, of course, goes with their triple track putter, and so there is a golf ball version that does have an alignment tool. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a pass there, just because, yes, it's not great there, but it does have a model if you're into that, so it gives people a wide variety. The other thing I can already tell you I love, and you can see from these two golf balls, is they have different designs. I mean, these kind of have like a soccer ball style pattern, and then this one actually does look like a soccer ball, and then the other one's got these USA and red stripes, and I love it. I'm a USA red, white, and blue guy. That's what my bag theme is. So I love the different designs. I love that you can do triple track if you want to. I love you can just do regular. They have a yellow. So already off to a great start with the design, just because there's a lot of options here for whether you want a little bit of flash or you're just an old style kind of guy. You're going to be able to find a golf ball either way, which is awesome. All right, so high expectations here. I'm getting kind of excited just because, based on some of the things I've seen so far. But let's get out to the chipping and putting green and let's see how we did out there. Okay, so basically my thoughts on the Callaway Chrome Soft are it actually has a really healthy amount of checkup. It's not super fast spinning like the Bridgestone golf ball I tested was, and like the TP5 where it just spins so much it's going to stop wherever it lands. But it does have a healthy amount. And what I mean by that is that it is going to check up. It is going to, kind of slow down as it gets to the hole. But it's not going to completely derail you, meaning that if you do try to hit a cut, yes, it will bounce to the right, but it's not going to shoot off to the right, which means that honestly, I think there's a level of forgiveness here, which is really nice. It's good to have a nice ball that not only does check up, but has a little bit of forgiveness too, because sometimes when I'm playing the TP5, or even when I was playing that Bridgestone golf ball, the Tour BRXS, basically what would happen sometimes is it would just spin more than I wanted it to, or maybe sometimes I would go a little out to in, and next thing I know my golf ball's jolting to the right, which I don't always want, because I'm not a perfect iron striker, I'm not a perfect chipper. Sometimes I don't manipulate the club I want to. This, honestly, I've not had any issues with. It's been really healthy, there's a good balance there, but you're still going to get that checkup you need. As far as the feel goes, now it is a little bit firmer, but I would say it's balanced. It actually feels really soft, especially for being in that 70s compression range, but it's not super soft by any means, and it's definitely not firm. You do hear a click, but it's only for feedback. It doesn't feel, as far as on the hands, it's just a slight press. it's a really good feeling golf ball. This is right where I would love a tour ball to be, but most of the time it seems like when you get into the 3-4 layers that cost this much, they just end up being really firm, but that's not the case here. So far the Callaway is impressing me with that, just because it's a nice healthy balance. And based on what I'm seeing on their website as well, it looks like that's kind of what it's intended to do. It's not supposed to be a super high spinning ball. It's supposed to be a medium to high spinning ball, and it does that perfectly. So I give Callaway credit points there for doing what they actually advertise the golf ball does. That's rarer than you think it would be. Okay, so after doing some putting around with the Chrome Soft, I can honestly tell you I am super impressed. The feel is phenomenal. I can't imagine a golf ball feeling much better than this. It feels like butter. It comes off at a really nice amount. It doesn't come off super hot. It doesn't come off dead. It's really balanced there. And despite the golf ball being a tad bit firmer and having a little bit of a click when you're chipping with it, there's really none to be had there. It feels super buttery off the putter. It seems like exactly what I wanted the golf ball to do. I had zero problems getting it to do it. I mean, it was really, distance-wise was not an issue. I was able to clean up a lot of my speed issues almost immediately just with this golf ball because of how consistent it was. So I was really impressed in that regard. Honestly, I just didn't have any issues with roll either. I mean, it just feels phenomenal. It rolls phenomenal. It rolls true. The feel, honestly, I mentioned it in the MaxFly videos that MaxFly was the only other company I had seen that kind of pulled a Titleist is what I call it. And that's when Titleist basically is able to make a really firm golf ball and it clicks and it's loud and you feel it when you hit it, but then when you putt it, you don't feel it at all and it's just beautiful. Very few golf balls can pull that type of thing off. And the Chrome Soft I'm going to add to that list. It really felt phenomenal. I was just in love putting around with it. It was the golf ball, out of all the golf balls I'm out here testing, the Chrome Soft was the one I practiced with the most just because I was enjoying it so much. So really a 5 out of 5 performance around the green. I don't know what else I could have really asked for. Okay, not too shabby, not too shabby. So getting into the feel of this golf ball, you know, the other golf balls I've tested from Callaway so far, they have a mixture of this new blend that they're using. It's a really weird proprietary blend they basically kind of, you know, experimented with and made up. I haven't liked it that much and the golf balls have been feeling dead. This one's not the case. This one has some spring. This feels like a tour golf ball. I mean, it feels like a tour golf ball. It kind of reminds me of, you know, when someone has like a metal credit card that's just slightly heavier than your normal credit card and you pick it up and you're like, whoa, that's premium. I like that. That's kind of how this golf ball looks, feels, and comes off the club. I really like it a lot. It really springs off there well, and honestly, I would say it's a balance right there in the middle. It's not firm, but it's not super soft by any means. It's right in the sweet spot, so definitely enjoyed that. Well, everything so far has been amazing. I've loved it, so I'm excited here to see these numbers. Now, I don't have super high expectations just because with tour balls, I usually don't do as well as I do with some of the springier two-piece golf balls, but maybe that will change finally. Let's find out. So starting off with the 9-iron, 95.4. There it is. That's what I like to see. 95.4 on the ball mile per hour speed. That's about 4 more than my average. That's awesome. 131.5, excellent. 126.3 on your carry, and a 23.2 launch is just like mid-high. Love that. That's off to a great start. Usually, you know, with the 9-iron, I see the biggest hit in tour ball golf balls just because when you have wedges and shorter irons, you just don't compress them as well. And when you have, you know, golf balls that are really firm, you got to compress them well. Otherwise, they just don't do what they're supposed to. All right, so hopefully these numbers continue into the 7-iron. And oh man, those are some good numbers. I'm loving this already, guys. 7,281. That is a massive amount of spin for the 7-iron. One of the highest I've ever got, other than one golf ball, which would have been the MaxFly Soft. Yeah, the MaxFly Soft was the other one that I got a little bit more with, but honestly, fantastic. I love that. And then 110.5 on the ball mile per hour speed. That is an awesome number. 162.1, awesome. 152, awesome. And then actually it has a high launch. So not only was I you know, getting some insane distance numbers, but I was getting a little bit more ball height too, which I don't mind, especially with that spin and stuff. I'm going to be able to really stick greens with this golf ball. I'm going to be able to control it, do what I want because of that height. That's nice. You know, sometimes when they get a little too low and too penetrating, sometimes I just end up rolling to the back of the green if I don't strike it well enough. That's not going to be the case here, so I love that. Hopefully this can continue. Okay, so 4,194 with the spin there. That's an average number. 117.2. That's, you know, average to just slightly high. That's not bad. 191.8 average. Okay, 177.6 average, and then a 14.7 launch. That's mid to high, kind of in the middle there. So okay, none of those numbers are bad. Those aren't fantastic like the other ones were, but not everything has to be, you know, amazing. Some things can just be average to good and still be fine. So all those numbers, there's nothing there that would turn me away from the golf ball. So now getting into the driver, just to finish it off. Come on, let's finish it off strong. So 3,177 RPMs is probably a little faster than I would normally want to spin it. So just a little high there. 241.5, that's above average. 134.1, above average. 221 and 17. So 17.3 is an extremely high launch with my driver. But again, I don't mind it too much. Maybe I was hitting the ball a little too up in the air. That's what it's seeing, just because the spin number is really high and the launch is really high. So I won't hold those against it. But it still had great numbers there with the 241. I mean, anytime you're getting a little too underneath the golf ball and you're still getting a good number, that's pretty good. You can't really complain about that. So I love that. Overall, those numbers are really good, and I would bet if I was actually getting the right ball flight with this, you know, and that's just a matter of how your swing is that day sometimes. But honestly, I love what it did. I mean, I'd say if I hit it right, I'd probably get close to 250 based on these numbers. So honestly, really impressive there. I'm not going to hold that too much against it, but overall, some really good numbers, especially with the 9-iron and the 7-iron off the bat. I mean, it was just coming off the club so well, and the feel was just all around good. Okay, so real quick, before I get to my final thoughts, I am going to touch on the durability a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, this is as good as it gets. This is the pinnacle peak of durability. This golf ball looks and feels brand new. I mean, you can see some dirt marks there where I hit the net, but when you feel this golf ball, it feels like if I was to close my eyes, I can't tell if this came out of the package or if it's been hit 60, 70 times. Can't tell, and it's been hit 60, 70 times. That's amazing. A perfect 5 out of 5 on durability, which again, I expect for the $49.99. But honestly, even with that, the Pro V1 didn't have a perfect score for me. So, you know, that's awesome that Callaway was able to pull that off. All right, so my closing thoughts. Do I recommend it? Who is it for? Well, listen, so if you guys are new to the channel, the veterans will tell you that when it comes to tour golf balls, I just usually don't recommend them, and mainly because it's like I said, my golf channel is centered around value. You know, the Cut Red is $1 a golf ball, and it's the best performing two-piece golf ball I've tested, one of the best, period. Why would I recommend too many others if you can get a great deal for that price? $49.99 is as expensive as a golf ball's pretty much going to get. I mean, the Pro V1 is $53, but to be honest with you, that $49.99 range is pretty much the top tier AAA golf ball. So most of the time, I just don't recommend these. But I'll be honest with you, I will recommend these. The golf ball had amazing durability. The spin was off the charts. The distance was off the charts. It felt amazing. It did everything it was supposed to. I love the designs of them. There's just not a lot of things this golf ball does wrong. You know, I have a full page over here of things that I love and that are awesome about it. And then I just got this little list of, well, I guess this could be a little better, but, you know, are we splitting hairs now? So honestly, this is the first tour golf ball I've ever been truly, really impressed with, especially for the price. Now again, the $49.99 is expensive. I don't want anyone thinking that just by buying this golf ball, you're going to instantly become a better golfer. It doesn't work that way. You're going to want to be swinging, you know, 90 to 100 mile an hour. You're going to want to be a lower handicap. You need to be able to bend the ball. If I can't put this golf ball down and say, hey, hit a draw, boom, and you can hit a draw. Hit a hook, you can hit a hook. Same thing, slice, hit a slice. If you can't do that, stay away from these high-spinning golf balls. You want to be a consistent iron striker, and you want to just get the ball straight and going toward the green. You don't want to see any massive slices or hooks. So low handicap, able to control the golf ball. And if you're confident in doing that, I find it hard to press that you'll find too many golf balls that perform better than this one did. So it definitely gets my seal approval and a recommendation. But again, if you're just a mid-handicapper, a weekend warrior, check out the channel. There's plenty of great golf ball reviews on golf balls that are $1 a golf ball, $2 a golf ball that won't break your wallet so bad. But when you do get better in a few years and you get down to that single-digit handicap, you might give this one a try. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. I'm going to go with the ERC Soft next, and I'll be honest with you, it's got a tough act to follow.